interrupting you?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to get your permission. But yeah, you know, it's weird the way we met, you know, is I went to this school called Calabasas High School in the Valley, and she and her sister did not attend, but she went on Facebook and friended everyone that did go to that school, so as to appear to have gone to that school.
What, and why
Yeah,
was she doing that? Why did she want to appear to have gone to that school?
because it's kind of like a secluded, elite
Ah,
public. Yeah,
like the
and
Kardashians live there, right? Or used to.
precisely. Yes, that's right. Yes, I know people that know their family and all that shit. And yeah, it's for real. And uh, she friended the faculty, the staff, the kids that were in attendance, and so people would think when they show up on a mutual friends list that this person was, oh well, just another person that went to school there. And a couple years ago, I was in the news here in Southern California for having been involved in a unfortunate attack at a Ku Klux Klan rally that kind of gave me my 15 minutes of fame, I guess, when I was stabbed by one of the Klan's members. It was all over the press. And I guess Ashley developed some sort of crush on me as a result and reached out to me and, wanted to know more. And we got to talking and, yeah, met up for a Jewish holiday. And then we're engaged maybe a month afterwards.
Really? She's very, how do I want to put this? She makes a big impression, I guess.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's a little difficult to talk about because it's so personal, you know.
Do you think
So
she gravitated to you? You said because of you were in the news for being attacked at a Klan rally?
right, I think Ashley is what's known as a star fucker.
Mm.
You know, if you're famous at some point or another, she wants that validation. You give her the validation, and then she'll discard you once having gotten said validation. Um, and I just, for me, it was just very difficult to date her because I think I'm not saying this to mock her or criticize her or even insult her or to poke fun at it. I think she suffers from borderline personality disorder, from heightened sensitivity to rejection. Like if I were to go out and take the trash out or something, she would say, "Oh, where are you going? Don't go." Things that are just a little bit palpable,
Mm-hmm.
um, like textbook type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a very strong and unfortunate victim mentality. So, everything was my fault. I was the one to call off the marriage. And it's because I think I've posted this on Instagram in the past and on Twitter as well, that, throughout our relationship, she had a relationship or a friendship with her ex-boyfriend. And I didn't want to sever that. I didn't want to cut that off. But she would be talking to the guy like in front of me while we're watching TV or texting him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it was pretty to me, it felt very disrespectful. And I want to create this boundary of, okay, if you guys want to talk every couple months or whatever, check in. I'm not going to cut you off from anybody. I don't want to be that person. I know that that's not, but, I think, when I left, she and her family thought that I was this horrible, god awful person that proposed to their daughter and then jilted her, and that I was this god awful person, and that this weird guy who shows up and like opens her door and stalks us when we're together and won't stop calling and won't stop texting. They didn't realize that this was the problem or that he was the problem, and it's tragic. So
And you seem like a really reasonable person. You don't seem like someone who's on any kind of a vendetta. And so I appreciate you. Just to be clear to the audience, I was the one who approached you this was not something that you were looking for, but because she is coming out with these charges, trying to get a sense of her character. And it sounds like to me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like to me that you would not find her a reliable source if she were claiming that someone had abused her, especially like a big star like Manson. Like, do you have any? I guess, what is your opinion on this situation?
You know, what she's claiming apparently happened 10 years ago, right? Um, According to what she has to say, her and her one or two pictures with Marilyn Manson. And I've dated actresses in the past and other kind of girls that are attracted to glamorous kind of positions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it before where they develop a crush on a celebrity and think that there's something else deeper than that. And they have some sort of connection and a crush. And it's really bizarre. But I think that's kind of what was happening. I think maybe Ashley and Manson dated for a week or something like that. And
Date.
right, dated in quotes. You know, but I think also, a lot of women. I hope you don't take offense to this. I feel a lot of women will kind of have some sort of celebrity guy that they can kind of, I don't know, browbeat other men with, and say, oh, I dated, I don't know, JFK Jr. or something, right? And so the guy will get insecure. The guy will feel bad. I'm not JFK Jr. I'm just a regular Walmart employee or whatever it is. And I've seen it before with other women, and I think Ashley would use him as sort of oh, well, I dated Marilyn Manson. I'm so cool. And she has these photos online, and she's a model and she's all fit and she's doing like provocative stuff. And these photos are from 20 years ago. And I'm not making this up. This is just factual. This is, and again, not even to put her down or to make fun of her. This is just giving you the truth as I see it. Her modeling career is fading. And to me, it's like one last desperate gasp for attention. And how can she kind of, squeeze something out of what is left? Because if you see photos of her today, right now, like this week, she looks nothing like these photos. She looks nothing like the stuff she posts on Facebook or Instagram. And so there's this yearning, I believe, to receive admiration or attention or acclaim. And, and I think she's rational enough, actually, to the point where she's going to med school because she realizes that maybe she won't be able to depend on these things for a while. But yeah, we were, engaged. It was Facebook official. My family knew. My family all over the world knew. Iran, Israel, the UK. It was big news for us and for her family. And we were really excited. And we wanted to have like an Orthodox Jewish home together and all these cool things. And but I think it's just unfortunate because she does live in this kind of faux reality that doesn't really seem to exist. You talk about her coming out and making rape charges against Manson. She would tell me that she fantasized. She had rape fantasies. That was like a thing she was into. So I don't have a problem disclosing that.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it. When she talked to you about Manson, I know you said it was almost in the vein of like bragging or almost trying to kind of provoke you a little bit. Did she ever say anything about how he had abused her or she was traumatized by the experience, or was it ever in a negative light, or was it just all like, oh, I dated Manson?
I think she mentioned that he pushed her, I believe, one time. And she did show me a scar on her, I believe, like near her collarbone from a bite mark. And she said that was from Manson. And it was maybe, I'm tempted to say like a quarter of an inch or half an inch. Nothing you would notice unless she pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the only physical scar I saw on her that she had credited to Manson.
So she mentioned that he once she said something about he pushed her and then that he had bitten her. Of course, we've had other people say that he bites during sex, which could be totally consensual. But she was just saying that she told you she had a little scar from where he bit her and then he had pushed her. Did she ever say anything about being imprisoned against her will, being raped, being tortured, being psychologically abused? Any of these things?
The only thing she might have mentioned in regards to that was, I think, some sleep deprivation type stuff.
What does she mean? You know what that means?
To me, it sounded like they were playing a game. Like, you can't sleep. If you sleep, I'm gonna kick you out. And then I think she was agreeing with it at the time to think, oh, what a fun game. And then, I think he would put her out of the house or something, according to what she said about this. But that was the only thing that she kind of mentioned to me in regards to like any psychological abuse.
And when you talk about a game, are you talking kind of like a bondage BDSM type game, like sexual, or or do you have any sense of what that kind of a game that is, or what that was about?
I think, look, I don't know Manson, but I think he has maybe a twisted sense of humor.
Mm.
And I think Ashley might be a little demented also. Like the kind of stuff that she's into, like on a private personal level, is really like, I don't know, ungodly. I don't know what else to call it.
Very edgy.
Yeah, very edgy. And just kind of base, very base.
Okay.
And I think here's this young girl who's probably enamored with this rock star and wants to be super edgy, and so yeah, we're gonna play a sleep deprivation game. And how funny is that? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I think it made sense to them.
Mm-hmm. So would you say your impression then is that, just from what she had said, that she was not trapped in some deeply psychologically, physically, sexually abusive relationship, but it was something that we would consider, maybe some of us would consider maybe different or strange or edgy, but not that she was being. Do you think she was being abused? That's not the. Is that the impression you got?
No, I think she might have. I think there might have been some kind of episodes possibly. I think things might have gotten out of hand once or twice, but I don't think it was like a long-term trend of abuse and kidnapping and rape and torture and all these horrible things. By the way, the other day someone posted something where they were messaging her and she thought it was me messaging her when it really wasn't. I don't know if you've seen this.
Okay.
Nope. And she said, hey, she thought it was me for some reason. And it was this other account, and I don't know who they are, to be completely candid. And she said, oh, fuck you, Tom. You're going to go to jail for harassing me. And once you're in jail, you're going to get raped and you're going to get murdered. And, you'll see you're going to get raped. And I saved those screenshots and published them on my Instagram as well. And, I don't know if that's the way someone that was sexually abused would talk, Well,
and also, I mean, it shows a real volatility toward you. It seems like what you're describing is a really emotionally, psychologically volatile person whose word is not necessarily, or whose interpretation of things is not necessarily the most dependable. What was the nature of your relationship? You said you broke up with her. So was it extremely volatile? I know you said that you think she has a personality disorder, classic symptoms of borderline, and she was insecure and everything. Did you feel like your relationship kind of abusive?
Yeah, verbally. I think I was verbally abused. And I mean, some people may not consider verbal abuse per se, but yeah, put downs, insults, humiliating me in public. We'd go to yoga class, I'd suck at yoga, and I was put on blast for sucking at yoga. So yeah, little kind of hints. I mean, nothing, nothing crazy, but you know, and then also a really bizarre phenomenon of never believing anything I had to say, uh, which I'm no psychologist, I'm no therapist, so I don't know where that's stemming from. And again, it's really tragic and sad, and I don't want to like make light of it or make fun of it or in any way. But I would say, hey, I just went to Subway and got a sandwich. Ha ha ha, don't bullshit me, would be the text response. Really bizarre kind of stuff. And it made it really difficult to date her for that reason.
Did you feel that there were times in the relationship where she misinterpreted? I mean, I know we all in relationships we all misinterpret things, but did you feel like she was coming at things from a real distorted viewpoint? I'm trying to figure out like where this stuff that she's saying about Manson, assuming that I don't believe it, where it's coming from. You think it's calculated that she's trying to further her image, or would you expect, or is she someone who personality disorder or whatever, she just sees things through a distorted filter, or both? Any idea?
Yeah, I think she's also somewhat narcissistic, and people that are narcissistic, like most people in Los Angeles, uh, have a very kind of self-centered worldview. I was kind of treated like a need-satisfying object. you know like my feelings never really, my deeper feelings about things never really mattered. My boundaries certainly never mattered. And I think part of the narcissistic personality is this desire for like an ideal beauty, ideal fame, ideal wealth. I'm sure you know all these things. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know. But I think the kind of glamorous side of this was what appealed her, like she wanted to be a model, and I don't think she ever made it very successfully as a model. But it's, a desire she had, I think because her sister, she confided in me, was such a, kind of what her family deemed a screw up. Like a runaway that did a lot of drugs and had a lot of sex, and was just a troubled child, right? And a troubled adult, I guess, unfortunately. Her sister, Jillian Smithline. She goes by actually Lindsay Morgan, but that's not her name, as you may know. And, I think Ashley wanted to appeal to her parents and this sort of ideal. And what's a better ideal than a model person, right? And I think she, I don't think she was even into Manson's music, but when her and I were teenagers, he was like the coolest guy on the planet, and his star might be kind of fading a little bit as you get old. That's just the entertainment industry for you. And so hers, she's getting older, she's going to be 40 soon. She figures, what, why don't I get what I can from this, exploit my 1 week, thing with him, and maybe I'll make some celebrity friends, maybe I don't know,
Yes, no, I understand what you're saying. Now she told you that she only dated him, or whatever we want to call it, for a week. It does seem like a week is not long enough to really ramp up into really hardcore abuse and stuff. So I mean, that just right there seems kind of suspicious. Did she ever explain to you why they stopped dating or hooking up, or what the catalyst for that was? Because I'm assuming she would have liked to have continued to be with him, right? So did she ever say like why it ended? He got tired of her or anything like that?
I think he was dating somebody else, or he started dating somebody else, if I recall correctly.
Was she upset about it? I'm assuming she wouldn't like that. Did she ever say anything about it, like a fuck him or whatever?
Yeah, she would, and she would talk about it with me every now and again. And I was actually trying to kind of console her and help her. And so when she would bring him up, I'd say, who's Marilyn Manson? I've never heard of him. To kind of like, to make her feel like a little bit better, And for her, I think it was a real point of validation. that you know she was with this guy.
Mhm.
But I've met actresses in the past that have like shaken the hand of a celebrity, right? And then create this whole elaborate thing of, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you, yeah. Uh, where they're like, oh, we totally dated and we're friends and we're, yeah. And I've seen it before. And that's kind of how I was able to identify
Mm.
possibly what happened. So I think they might have hung out for a week, you know, or maybe, slept over each other's place one night or two nights, and and
How
that's
did
that.
she meet him? Do you know?
What's that?
How did she meet him? Do you know? How did she meet him? Like get to like where did she first see him or talk to him?
I think backstage, if I'm not.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? No, she claimed that, I don't know if this is true or not, because she lies actually quite a lot. Um, that he liked her photos and then flew her in to be a part of a music video. I don't know if she ever was in a music video of his or not, but that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
From the looks of the one of these pictures that I've seen of them together, it
Mm-hmm.
just looks like this is him chilling after a show, and this is like a groupie that managed to break past security.
Sorry. Yeah. That's
All
funny.
right, I appreciate the laughs.
You seem like a nice guy. Are you single? No, I'm kidding. Uh, so, but you do seem like a nice guy. I'm sorry you got mixed up in all of that. You said she lied a lot. Would you say it's pathological or was it about everything or big things or small things or what kind of lies?
You know, it's sad. It's like all the time lies about little things. She says, "Tom, my grandmother is filing a restraining order on you." I was never served with a restraining order. She posted something on her Instagram saying, "I'm going to jail. I'm going to be incarcerated." I'm not incarcerated. I haven't been arrested. There's no restraining order on me. Um,
So really, I mean, that's hardcore. Like really making up stuff. Now, the restraining order. What do you ever know about somebody from just interviewing them? But you don't seem like the kind of person that needs to have a restraining order filed against him. So would she make up stuff about you being violent? Like, would she make up stories that you had been violent when you weren't?
yes, she would, because she did say that I made her feel fear for her life on. I believe she posted something akin to that on Facebook. And I've never done that. And someone else pointed out that that was verbatim what another celebrity said about Johnny Depp. That's right. And so she's cutting and pasting verbatim, what other people are saying, like parroting it,
Uh
you
huh.
know, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Tom made me fear for my life. Tom is a dangerous man, which is what Evan said, I believe, about Manson. Tom is this, Tom is that. And I think this actually ties into the borderline thing that we spoke about earlier, which is this kind of black and white thinking. Either Manson is the greatest person or he's the wickedest person. Either Tom is this great guy that's going to marry her and live happily ever after, or he's a piece of shit loser, you know?
And scary and abusive and stuff. It sounds like right, uh, or what she was saying. I mean, uh, well, so I don't want to say this. Did she ever get violent with you, or she's not herself a violent person? Like, she ever hit you or anything? No.
No, no. She has like some compulsive behavior, but I wouldn't call it violent. No.
Okay.